Hey, I run here, and welcome to Train Simulator 2014. Alright, in this first episode, we are just going to cover some of the basics of Train Simulator 2014. This is the Steam edition, and we're going to go for our first ride. So, to go for a ride, you would click Drive. We'll get to that in a second. Your career, if you click on that, that'll give you a little bit of statistics about what you've done so far in Train Simulator. You can see that still at driver level 0, medals 0, XP 0. Collection shows you a collection of the different things that you own in the game. You can get your locomotives, your routes, and as you acquire more, you'll have more show up. Engine Driver takes you to a website that has all things related to Train Simulator games, and Build will allow you to actually go in and edit any of the different, you can clone them, rename them, delete them, edit them, or create a new route. So that's for those that really want to get in there and do some serious, I guess, modifications to the game. Stores where you can go and you can buy more things, and they have a latest offer and a featured offer if you want to go and buy a new route or a new train to be able to play with. So let's click on into Drive. In Drive we have Career Mode, which we'll be getting to soon. You have a Quick Drive if you just want to create your own journey on any train and any route, any weather, any time of day. The tutorials, which we're going to be doing our first tutorial on how to drive the train in simple mode. Standard is you can drive additional scenarios for fun, no scores, no pressures, just the fun of doing it. And then there's a free roam. Down here you have the control method. We're currently in simple mode. We can switch to the expert mode, which gives us more controls and XP and medals. If we click over here, try simple controls if you're a new train simulator. So, alright, so let's get started, and we're going to go to tutorials. You have two tutorials here. You have basic driving with the expert controls, and you have basic driving with the simple controls. Now I've actually completed both of these, and it says it takes about 5 minutes, but I think it takes a little bit longer because you have to actually stop and read the tutorials or the instructions. So let's go ahead, and this first one we're going to do the basic driving with simple controls. Now down here you also have things for the store, for Facebook if you want to share on Facebook. I'll let you know now that this screen, at least on my machine, tends to take a little while to load. Welcome, driver. Let's get used to driving a train using simple controls. This is the Ice 2 train, which you will be driving to Hamburg, which is a few kilometers ahead. Time to get you inside the cab. Now that you're in the cab, let's take a look at the controls. The controls are located in the bar at the bottom of the screen, referred to as the heads-up display or HUD. Don't worry, everything will be explained at a comfortable pace. The game is currently paused. Close the window by clicking the X in the top right corner. The track profile located at the bottom of the HUD, that's down here at the bottom where you can see the red engine followed by the rest of the train, provides a side view of your train and the line ahead. This view will scroll from right to left as you proceed forward. The view represents the knowledge that an experienced driver has, including oncoming signals, speed limit changes, and other parts of the line. When you're ready, close the message to continue. The red control, right down here, flashing, works as your throttle when it's moved above the dotted line, and your brake when it's moved below the dotted line. The further you move it up, the faster you'll go, and the further you move it down, the quicker you'll stop. The blue button is the reverser. This determines your direction of travel when the throttle is applied. Currently, it is set forwards. Tapping the control toggles between forward and reverse. So if we tap it, you see it points down for reverse. Tap it again, points up for forward. So any of these pop-up messages can be recalled by using the left and right arrows over here in your side thing. Alright, so let's get started. Now it's time to get moving. Click the throttle with the left mouse button. Then with the mouse button held, slowly move it up about 50%. Alright? It may take a moment for the brakes to release and the train to start moving, so just set the throttle and wait. Once you have set the throttle above 50%, close the window to continue. So yeah, we're above 50%. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and put it up at 100%. Alright, let's get moving here. Alright, nicely done. Yay team! Now that you're moving, remember to pay attention to your speed at the bottom of the screen. The upper value is your current speed, that's the 5.1, and the lower value is the line speed limit. So right now our line speed limit is 120 miles per hour. Really, coming out of the gate? And it says try not to exceed this. Changes in speed limit will be shown in yellow on the track profile at the bottom of the screen. So it kind of shows it here at 60, but on the screen it's going to be down here. So our first one's going to be 80, even though we can't fully see it yet. Try to keep an eye on this and adjust your speed accordingly before the loco passes them. Alright, we're moving. So we're going to keep this up at 100% for now. I don't think we're going to hit 80 by the time we get to the 80 mark. Right, keep driving a couple of kilometers. Try to keep under the line speed limit. When you are closer to Hamburg, we will run you through the process of bringing your train to a stop. We got a clear line ahead, so you don't need to worry about signals during this tutorial. Alright, let's continue. Alright, we're up to 64. Alright. Coming up, the speed limit drops to 80 kilometers. Watch the track profile and use the throttle to adjust your speed if you need to. Alright, so right now we're pretty good. But we can start throttling this back so we don't go above 80. Alright, so let's... Doing pretty good at around 3%. While driving, you can change views. Pressing 2 on the keyboard switches to third-person view, while pressing 1 reverts to the view from within the front of the train, also known as the cab view. There are more views for you to discover later. Alright, so if we press the 2, we get this view. We can also hold our right mouse button and move our mouse left and right, up and down, and it will allow us to alter that view a little bit. Pressing 1 again, we go back into the cab view, which is not quite as noisy. Also over here, you can switch to the different views appropriately. Alright, we have a 60 speed limit coming up. So let's start thinking about dropping this down a little bit. So if I hit this view, it takes us out the left side of the train. This one takes us out the right side. The helicopter view is just basically the same one we were in a second ago when we pressed the 2. This is a slightly different view of that. You can also go into passenger view. Watch the track profile below. There's a 60 km/h speed restriction coming up. After we come around the next turn, use the throttle to adjust your speed accordingly and aim to be under 60 km/h by the time you enter the speed restriction. So right now we're actually at 47, so we're actually okay. So we may just leave it there. and we'll go back to cab view. So we're actually going to speed it up a little bit. Alright, so we just need to be below 60. And this is where you would adjust your throttle speed. You are now 1 kilometer from Hamburg. Reduce your speed to 40 kilometers per hour by moving the throttle into the brake position below the dotted line. Once you have done this, close the window to continue. Alright, let's move it down, even though we were already kind of down there. So up ahead, you see where you have the red lights. That's where your actual train speeds or the speed limit changes. Those are your signals. So we're below 40 already. We'll speed it up a little bit just so we can get there in time. And I'll just watch it myself. Alright, so we just need to stay below 40. I'll show you real quick what happens if you go above. You'll get a thing over here that says you're speeding. See, it says speeding, so we'll just drop it back down. And of course, the further you drop it back down, the faster you go. So it says you're exceeding the current line speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour, which we knew. Slow down by lowering the throttle to below the dotted line. The lower the throttle is positioned, the harder you will brake. Once your speed is below the limit of 40, slide the throttle back up to the line to maintain your speed. Slide the throttle below the line now and then close the window. Alright, we're below the line, so we're okay. We already knew that was happening. Alright, so we're coming in here. So the next thing is we want to stop in this green area. We're fixing to get prompted for that. So it says aim to come to a complete stop next to the platform to your left so that all of your train is within the green line on the track profile below. Use the left mouse button to move the throttle further down into the brake position if you need to stop faster. Alright. So basically our entire train needs to be within this green area. And it's a pretty big area, so that's not going to be a problem. And you can see we're gradually slowing down anyway. And we're coming up on the passenger area. See the passengers waiting for us there? They're probably asking, would you hurry up? Alright, there we go. It says, great work. When you stop at a passenger station, you will see a red bar growing on the HUD as passengers get on and off the train. This tutorial will finish when the red bar has reached the end. The red bar will take approximately 20 seconds for this to stop. Alright, here's the red bar down here. And this just about wraps up our tutorial and our first episode on Train Simulator 2014. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you'll stay tuned for some future episodes. I think this is going to be just a nice, relaxing game to play with. Alright, great work. You have successfully driven a train using simple controls. You might want to continue driving scenarios using simple controls and get used to driving. When you're more experienced and want to increase the challenge, run the Expert Controls tutorial and learn how to drive with much more realistic controls. You can change your control method on the drive screen in the bottom right corner, like we showed you at the beginning of the video. Just click the slider to toggle between simple and expert modes. Alright, so that pretty much wraps it up. In the next episode, we will actually run the tutorial in expert mode, so you'll be able to see how that is. Don't forget to comment, leave a like, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next episode. This is your final destination.